through TW has a photo image series, and you react to it. So he's going to bring up a bunch of photos and ask, and we'll continue asking you questions, you and your mom and dad.
Yeah, well, we'll just start super early. And this, for people listening, this is Jay in a Power Rangers outfit.
I can comment on that.
All right, let's hear it. Where did this come from?
Some people would think that's Halloween, but that was every day. Like that. He ate dinner like that. I think I don't know if he wore that one to kindergarten, but Spider-Man and others, and the teacher would make him take any facial thing off. But yeah, that was just every day.
Superhero.
You know, sometimes people forget that athletes at this level are actually people too, right? I think that these guys were born into like always just basketball players, right? Yeah. And that they didn't have other lives.
I was gonna say, as a kid, the Power Rangers, was this an everyday watching thing, or was it just the actual costume that drew you to it?
Superman and Spider-Man were number 1 and 2. This was like the second string uniforms.
But Power Rangers was definitely
that was it for you.
Part of my TV watching when I was a kid.
When he first started. Mom, did he make you call him the name? I'm sorry, Jay. Did he make you call him that name?
What was that?
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said the first time he played baseball, he wasn't probably quite ready because he'd be out in the outfield doing Power Ranger moves while the game was going.
That was like 16, 17.
Yeah. That's awesome. That was last week. And then here's the next one here.
Yeah, that was cool. That was a cool
your
day.
signing day moment. What was that like for you guys? Is it relief? Was this a moment you've been looking forward to?
It was nice to get the pressure off.
Yeah.
That was junior, or was that the first of senior year?
End of junior year.
End of junior year. So we knew that he was going into senior year, knowing where he was going to college, and he could just focus on basketball and school.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of bummed. I can't find that hat. I was thinking about that the other day. I can't find that hat anymore. I'm going to have to try to find it. Maybe it's in my apartment.
Your signing day hat?
Yeah. I would like to have that.
And then that coming in this next one. This Kyle recording you taking off from the free throw line in practice. Well, do you remember this when this went viral?
Yeah, I definitely remember that, especially because, we were just kind of screwing around in the gym. I had done like 1 or 2 dunks. We'd kind of been messing around, and they're like, "You got anything else?" And I was like, "I can dunk from the free throw line," and they were all like, "You're full of it." So I just kind of did it, yeah.
And was this something you had worked on before? You tried a bunch of times, and you knew confidently you had it?
Yeah, I had done it before once or twice. I don't remember exactly how many, or when I had done it. I think it was just in the gym in high school one time, or just before I came there for the summer, and I was able to do it. So
look at Jay's reaction.
I've put on a bunch of weight since then, so I might not be quite as aerodynamic.
Jay's reaction is going crazy. But also, there are a lot of guys who say, well, not a lot of guys can't do it, right? The guys that do dunk from the free throw line, sometimes half their foot's in the lane, sometimes their full foot's in the lane. Your foot is legitimately outside the lane when you're taking off your.
And it might have been like on the line, but not like super far on the line. I don't remember.
Like toe on the line, maybe.
Yeah. I want to try it again.
Yeah, I don't get sick of watching that. And then here's I was gonna say you and Dre were on the green team that year. Maybe describe one practice, one moment where you were like, all right, maybe this DeAndre Hunter guy's a little different.
I'm pretty sure this was after a workout where he had been kicking my butt, actually.
I was smiling then.
I don't know. I'm not really sure. Maybe I was having a good day, actually. I don't know. Maybe that's why he's not smiling, but that's not saying much because he never really smiled. So. Yeah. I remember what happened that day.
And then I'll give you this next one. Another dunk.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say, Mom, Dad, how would you rate this? 1 out of 10.
I'd
He's
say
not
that's
better. No.
if people haven't been to games or haven't been early to games or whatever, it's worth the price of admission just to watch him in warm-ups, because he's got for a 7-footer, he's got a pretty wide array of athletic dunks. And so one time he actually hurt his wrist in warm-ups, and so sometimes I get a little nervous when he's doing some of his stuff before games, but it's definitely worth the price of admission just to do that day.
I was gonna say, is dunking like a thing that you in your whatever free time you work on or you think of your creativity wise?
From time to time, yeah. I haven't done that as much recently, but every once in a while I'll have a day kind of after a workout where I'm like, man, I'm feeling kind of good. Hey, can you film this? And it's happened especially like 1 or 2 days. I think probably my redshirt sophomore year or something like that, where I had a bunch of good ones, and like the little the double hoop that we have in the practice gym.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a rim on the back of a hoop for some reason.
Right.
It's there, but it's kind of cool. And I can like dunk on both rims at the same time, and I've had someone film that, so it's fun to do every once in a while, just to try to get creative.
That's awesome.
Well, Mike, you said you were known as a dunker.
I could jump pretty well. I don't think dunking was as big of an art form then as it is now. The guys that now everybody's trying to dunk, and it's kind of your rite of passage. But when I was in college and I worked at the summer camp, and every week we'd do one night where there were several of us that were pretty good dunkers, and we could put on a pretty good show.
Were you doing anything like Jay did?
No, never did anything like that. But I could 360. I could, I had some pretty good dunks.
And speaking of
Jay, do you know your vertical?
I don't actually. I haven't measured it in a really long time.
I saw something the other day, or heard it, something where they said that he added 5 inches to his vertical since he got to Virginia. So, which he put it probably in the high 30s.
Mike Curtis.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's awesome. And the next dunk, or a series of dunks here apparently. This is the one, Cameron. I was going to say, walk us through that moment being Cameron playing and getting this for you guys being in Durham, because I can't think of another Virginia player that's from Durham that went there and did something like this, obviously.
It was definitely a really cool moment. From that game, I think it was cool too because I knew at least one person that was there. My good friend Jake had not told me about this, but he somehow got courtside tickets on the baseline. And so we're in warm-ups, and I look in one of the chairs, and I just see my friend Jake. And I'm like, what? What's up, bro? Oh, hey.
Awesome.
One of the things that I would comment on that dunk, like I said, I've been a Duke fan for a long time, and Duke, prior to this whole one and done era, really man-to-man defense was one of their things. And when he did that, I was like, there was a day when that would have been either a timeout or an immediate substitution, and somebody would have been getting killed by Coach.
Right.
But that's kind of how things have evolved. Is that that's just, it's not so important now. It doesn't seem like.
You go one and done, I guess. You got to make some sacrifices.
And they don't have that same kind of defense anymore. But that was such a great moment.
It was.
We were just like, I don't freak out a lot, but that was one where I was definitely up.
Yeah. I was going to say, how many of your friends have converted to Virginia fans in Durham, at least during this game?
Yeah, they've definitely converted. I think some of them are still Duke fans technically, but they cheer for UVA. Even against Duke, like they'll cheer for UVA. A lot of my friends aren't that big of sports fans. I mean, some of them are, but some of them aren't. So it wasn't that hard to win them over.
That's awesome. How about you, Ma? How was it? You mentioned it earlier. I think you mentioned it in the road home, journey home video as well. But maybe, what were your thoughts during this or after? Was there a glowing moment for you?
It was just crazy. I mean, I was probably more nervous for that game than any game up to that point. And when he got his first points, that first dunk, I was just like, my stomach started settling down, and then, the next one and the next, he had, I don't know, 12 points that game or something. And
I have no idea.
I just got lighter and lighter on the inside with every point he made. And it wasn't that the points were so important because he had a great overall game, but it was just, I just wanted him to do well in Cameron so badly. Because we had been taking him there since before he could walk or talk or anything. Yeah. So it was a great, great day.
My question is, Wojciechowski flopping in front of us so we can't see him on the floor there? Taking the fake charge? That's the cleanest to the rim play I've ever seen at Cameron.
That's what I was saying, man. That's what I was
it.
saying. There was a day where somebody would have been getting reamed for that one.
That's awesome. Yeah. Good point, folks.
GW, do you have any other pictures with J Huff against Duke?
Yep.
Okay, then I'll wait.
Oh, wow.
Here's one with Zion. And I
have a funny story about that one, actually. First of all, like I don't really care that much about it. One, because I'm the only guy he ever dunked on because everyone else was too scared. I've seen one other poster or highlight with him dunking on anyone else because everyone would move. Second of all, my mother threw me under the bus at the grocery store one time.
Wait.
So, okay, she didn't throw me under the bus. She was complimenting me. She said something. We started talking about me playing for Virginia, playing against Duke, etc. And she said how I blocked Zion and how that was a really cool moment. And then we talked about it later, and you were like, I didn't want to like brag on you too much. So then later in that conversation, she said, and then he dunked on it. But
That's not throwing you under the bus.
it's not, but it kind of is.
Yeah.
The thing about that play, too, is if you think about the way Virginia plays defense, there was a total 5-person collapse on that play. Jay got the end of it where he got dunked on, but if you go run that back, if that was on video and you ran it back, that's a 5-person getting dunked on.
I was just going to agree with you, Mike. I was just going to bring that up and say he basically dunked on everybody in that team because he did an in and out move at like foul line extended where he shook 3 guys.
Oh, yeah.
And he came down court. Right.
And then I was going to say that, and then the Duke game where, little guy named LeBron James shows up and watches. What do you remember about that?
I remember being told that on an alley-oop attempt where I kind of fell, that I like landed like right by him. I don't actually remember like looking up and seeing him because I didn't know where he was sitting. But I do remember that for sure.
And what was your question going to be, Mark?
If there are no other Duke pictures, did you have conversations with Krzyzewski? Did he say anything to you after any of the games that you guys played against them? Particularly the last one when you had that great game?
I don't think it was anything like too extensive, but it was a friendly conversation. Like it was just great game, etc. Talked to Nate James a little bit too, the assistant that recruited me. It's all friendly. Like it's not like there was any bad blood for me not going there. Which is really cool.
Sure. I was just thinking perhaps he would have said, especially at that last game, boy, I wish you would have come to Duke.
Oh, that would have been funny.
I was going to say, who, as a kid growing up in Durham, similarly, I was a kid growing up in Charlottesville, but who was your favorite player from Duke?
I'd probably say J.J. Redick, and I know I'm going to catch some heat for that.
Great one.
I mean, a lot of people don't like him, though. He was from Virginia, I think. People just see him as one of those Duke guys that that they don't really like unless you're a Duke fan. But it might have also just been partly because of his name. So it was kind of similar to mine, but still, I was a big fan.
That's awesome. And what was your earliest memory of Virginia, of hearing of Virginia? Obviously, you're in ACC country, but I was curious, like where that, as a kid in ACC country, was there a Virginia player that you remember that kind of sticks out?
Yeah, I remember I was at the ACC tournament with you, and Duke got lit up by Joe Harris. That's like the first UVA name that I kind of remember.
That's cool. And then the next photo, let's play this one. This says FSU and I'll just read it. It says, FSU put J. Huff in the middle, multiple ball screens and possessions down the stretch versus UVA. Huff executed on 4 straight hedges, stalling out in ball screens, forcing late. They kind of mark your recovery. Do you remember this play?
That's just a typical practice at UVA. Drills where it's basically that, running out, they set a ball screen and roll, you got to recover to your man, and then go to the other side, set a ball screen, recover, all that. So that wasn't that hard, which I guess is a good thing, a good reflection on UVA's practices.
I was going to say, your first year, would this be something you would struggle with?
I'd have gotten burned on the first one.
No big deal. Just head 70 feet away from the basket and get back and guard 4 guys. I'm infatuated by this, as TW and Mark Jerome know.
I was gonna say, for you, Mom and Dad, how was this, watching his development on this?
For me to see it after his first couple of years, it was all about the defense, and all we hear about is defense, and he can't play defense, and then. So then you see things like this, or you see, statistically that he was the best player in the country, defensive efficiency, or you see an article coming up for the season this year. It's like, we know Kihei and Jay can play defense. We don't know about everybody else. It's like, I'm so proud of him because, he bought in and he's done what they asked him to do. And, he's been rewarded for that. And so for that to now be, it's almost like that's his strength, and people I don't think people even really know what he's capable of offensively, but it's pretty cool to see that kind of thing defensively.
And then
just his arm moves, he can block. That's why he can block when he seems like he's not even near the ball.
Right. And then here's the next play I was going to have you walk us through. This is the Duke late block to seal the win. And there you go, another hedge recovery.
Busting through.
Yeah, that was a really, really fun play, as you can tell by my reaction after the fact. There's been a lot of ball screen stuff in all these too, which is also just kind of vindicating, because it's not like I was coming from a weak side block, but I was pretty proud of that.
Yeah, and what for Mom and Dad, and again against Duke, for you guys afterwards, how did this was this one to feel really different with him being obviously like player of the game and everyone's talking about him? How was that for you guys?
Yeah, our phones blow up.
It was. Go ahead.
No, it's just fun. It's fun to stand up there and just scream, and cheer and let it all out and just be excited and proud.
It's also fun to go back later and listen to Dick Vitale and just lose his mind.
It is pretty cool. I know as a college basketball fan, all this stuff is kind of like surreal at this moment, but and then you said it. You stole my thunder on this one. Top 5 defensive rated players in major conference college basketball last season, and there you see your son's name at the top.
Well, it's cool to see the Braxton and Malmedy are also on that top 5 list. It just goes to show what UVA is about.
Yeah.
And then I was going to say that in terms of thinking about your development. Like, does that come into play? Like, oh, this was the thing I worked on, and now I'm one of the best at it. Like, does that come into play ever? Do you think about that, or is it you're just moving along, chugging along?
Like, I consider that one of my strengths now, and hopefully, if the NBA thing ever works out, and if we can ever get basketball going again, then that'll be something that I can bring up in interviews, I guess.
Absolutely.
Part of it.
Can I ask one question? How do you guys? What I'm infatuated with by your team is how you guys don't foul. No, is that worked on? Is it?
Yeah, I'd say sometimes I get called for fouls on ball screens. That it's just the way we play ball screens, and I think the guards have gotten decent at flopping. But no, on the whole, I think we play pretty just hard-nosed defense without just a team that hacks people and tries to get the refs to ignore it.
And you guys are so good at going straight up. A guy, you know, these
Verticality.
are monsters. These are monsters coming at you, right? They're not like nobody. And
Yeah.
you guys can go straight up. And I see a foul, but it's in replay, it's not a foul.
Yeah.
So impressive, man.
Thanks. Jack was really good at that too. Jack Salt. He would always
That's
go straight up, and you're not going to move him. So
right.
We have